Let's see if I can't get something good.
Here's your present.
I got coal! Hi, everybody. I noticed that I was running low on iron, so I went mining for it. And I found a little bit more than I bargained for, but in a very good way. You see, Chromatocraft adds these burrows, or actually down here I believe they're called hollows. And I just happened to find this one. And so I thought I'd bring you with me while I went to look at this one. And so now we should have a new entry. Very deep in the rock, these crystal-rich cavities hold further intrigue. But first we have to do something with this crystal pylon. And I believe the answer that works is to break it. And that's all the protection that these have. And hey, we got dimlets. We got blood magic stuff, horse armor. We got some pretty good stuff here. And then, of course, there's these. I need to figure out what to do with them. And I imagine that I will learn more as I find more knowledge fragments. I have also started work on my magic tree. Unfortunately, I ran out of wood, so I had to grow some more. And I'm working on collecting it. Of course, that's taking a while. So I wouldn't hold your breath. In other news, someone must really like me, because I've gotten 3 Christmas presents. And I'm going to open them for you one at a time, starting with...
Good tidings I bring for me.
This salty tree. Who's brought me another present? Doesn't look like he dropped anything. Let's try again.
Good tidings I bring for me.
That is not a reindeer. And, oh dear. These tidings are not terribly good. Okay, could be worse. This could have happened at night. but then I wouldn't be quite foolish enough to open those presents at night. Okay, I am almost back to my house, and we're going to see if Rudolph is still there. Rudolph is still there. Gonna have to do something about that. Okay, so I have built myself, or designed a new crossbow to help me deal with Rudolph. It would be a little bit better if I had managed to get some flame string from the nether when I was there, but I didn't. Still, it's a pretty solid crossbow, and I have managed to make some bolts that should set him on fire, if he can catch fire. There he is. Because he's bright red, I can't tell if I'm hitting him. No, I'm not hitting him. There we go. All right, I'm going to collect my stuff, and then I'm going to open the rest of my presents. All right, one more. Let's see if I can't get something good.
Here's your present.
I got coal! And a frostbolt scepter, and a diamond. That's really not so bad. Oh, and 2 blocks of iron. Where did that come from? Probably the same place. In other news, this tank is completely full of creosote oil. 512 buckets. Not only that, but my tanks up here are also full. Another 128 buckets. Plus an extra 24 in these 2 coke ovens. So I think it's time to give this a try and see if it runs long enough to get its efficiency up. So the fuel capacity on this is 16 buckets. So let's fill it up. And there we go. Just a few at first, but more as we build up more steam. As you can see, they're all really trying to go. And the main thing we need to do to generate enough steam is to build up some more heat. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is, this thing sure is pumping out some power. The bad news is, it never did become more fuel efficient, And now we're out of fuel. And the heat is slowly running down. But I do have most of my fuel converted. There's a little bit left to go. And up here, our lasers are going fairly nicely for not having very many of them. So maybe I'll be finished with this energy by the time it stops generating it. In the meanwhile, I think I'm going to have to build a solid fueled boiler as well. Because I have loads of charcoal, 18 stacks. Actually, that's not a terribly large amount. But the creosote ovens will continue to generate more liquid fuel and more charcoal. So that's good. Finally, I have finished the basic shape of the tree. Next will be leaves and branches, and that's going to take a while, but not nearly as long as this curve has taken me. On the other hand, one advantage this tree has over the redwoods is that the inside is hollow, which is going to leave me plenty of room for conduits and piping and plumbing and any other thing I might want to have going on underneath here. I plan to build a house or two over here and build the magical stuff inside the house. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about blood magic. I may just leave that in a cellar. So just by itself, this doesn't look terribly right. But I think that it will look much better once I've got some leaves on it. And I'm going to do some tendrily branches. You know, just basically based on the general idea of your old-fashioned tendrils. Something like that. And then to add the leaves on the end, I will use the building guide to build something like this. So yeah, a bunch of tendril sort of things like this. Which I shall try to make look like something that would be part of a tree. I do believe I like the way this is coming out. I've got a lot more leaves and branches to add. And I think some of it is probably going to run into the ranching tree, which I think actually works out. So yeah, lots more branches and lots more leaves to add. But I think when it's done, it should come out looking pretty cool. I don't really like the trunk though. I probably should have done this from the ground up. And I may just rebuild the trunk from the tree down later on. So I seem to have run into some other small problem. I made a number of really nice looking canopies, and then for some reason this enhanced building guide started making spheres. I mean, it would still show the ghost blocks in the oval canopy shape, but it would insist on putting the leaves down in a sphere shape. So I'm not sure what's causing that. In fact, I have no clue what's causing that. But what it does mean is I'm going to have to come up with another way to finish these leafy canopies. I'm leaning towards RF Tools Builder. Of course, the problem with the builder block is that it's a very power-hungry block. So I'm going to have to come up with quite a lot of RF to feed the thing in order to finish this tree. Or I could just place the blocks by hand, but then I wouldn't have an excuse to come up with more power. So I'm going to go drill for some more oil and extend our railroad to pick it up and bring it back to our refinery. And then fire up the old boiler. Or alternately, I can finish that solid boiler. Alternately yet, I could make the solid boiler fireboxes and just put them under these tanks to change this into a solid fueled boiler. And then we can see how long this charcoal lasts. I've got 20 stacks. And the question would be, will this charcoal production keep up with my usage once it's heated up? So, next episode, we're going to crank up those boilers one way or the other. Until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.